I'm back again. During this lesson, we will do a little test about the vocabulary, what we have learned already. The first question is, what is manslaughter? Is it setting fire to a building on purpose, killing a person by accident, stealing large amounts of money, or not declaring your income to the government? Guys, I'm waiting for your answers. What is manslaughter? Hi, Naveen. Hi, Serap and Murahem and Nevin thinks killing person by accident, and you are correct, guys. It is killing person by accident. The next one, what is blackmail? Forcing a person to have sex, stealing something from a shop, demanding money by threatening to reveal someone's secrets, killing someone by accident, or putting garbage on human waste in someone's mailbox. I like last possibility a lot. We have answers from Sudenaz and Muramen and Halil, and they think it is C, and you are correct, guys. The answer for this one is definitely C. Question number 3. Which word means stealing in general? Robbery, theft, burglary, or rape? Which one has the same meaning with stealing? For this one, guys, can you write the question number and answer? For example, 3C, 3B, or just write the word. Because some people are watching live, some people are watching a little bit late live, so I don't understand which question you are answering. Pelin says theft, and she is correct. Stealing is the same with theft. Robbery is breaking into someone's house. Sorry, burglary is breaking into someone's house. Robbery is using force. What is an arsonist? A person who forces another person to have sex, a person who takes goods from a shop without paying, a person who likes to drink arsenic, or a person who sets fire to a building on purpose. So for this one, everybody thinks correct answer is D, and yes, true, arsonist is a person who sets fire to a building on purpose. Question number 5. Which word describes the crime of breaking into a home to steal? Manslaughter, shoplifting, embezzlement, or burglary? Breaking into someone's house to steal money or other possessions. I see number 5. Everybody says that correct answer is A, and yes, guys, you are true. Here we need A, burglary, correct. Next question. Which word describes a person who forces sex on someone else? Arsonist, rapist, robber, sexist, or Cosby? Soydan, I'm checking my video quality on another computer that I'm watching, and there is no problem, so I think it can be because of your internet connection, maybe. For question 6, everyone thinks B is correct answer. Yes, of course, it is a rapist. Next one. What is the crime of killing a person on purpose? Blackmail, manslaughter, murder, burglary, or burglary? Nevin, Muharrem, Hande, Çınar, Sudenas, Halil, all of you are correct. Pelin and Soydan also. Murder. True. And Adam. Next one. Which word describes a white-collar crime specifically done by people who steal large amounts of money that have been placed in their care? Robbery, theft, blackmail, or embezzlement? Thank you, Fatih. So, which one describes a white-collar crime specifically done by people who steal large amounts of money that have been placed in their care? Remember, I told you an example about accountant. I see correct answers on YouTube. Embezzlement. Correct. You are correct, guys. The next question is like this. What kind of theft involves stealing money from a bank or shop using violence or force? Stealing money from a bank or shop using violence or force. Is it shoplifting, robbery, burglary, or trespassing? Think about a bank. Which one will we say? I shoplifted a bank, I robbed a bank, I burglared a bank, or I trespassed a bank? We have correct answer from a lot of students. They say that it should be robbery, and you are correct. This one is robbery. And the last question for this quiz. Who is the person who steals goods from a shop without paying for them? A shoplifter, a rapist, arsonist, murderer, or rider? What do we say about the name? Who steals goods from the shop without paying any money? Shoplifter, rapist, arsonist, Murderer or rider? Everyone is correct for this answer. Definitely, it is called a shoplifter. Yes, you are correct, guys. True, and of course, we will have 100% correct. Thanks to you. Halil, yeah, shoplifter, you and me. During the break time, the memory of my shoplifting came back to my mind again. I said that I shoplifted a chewing gum when I was 6 or 7 years old, and my mother understood it actually, and she made me go back to the supermarket, pay for the chewing gum, and apologize to the saleswoman of the supermarket. That was very, very, very difficult situation for me. I remember it, and that moment I said to myself, I will never do it again. Thanks God, I have not done it since then. It was just one-time accident. Okay, now I have prepared some not important, but some interesting cases about crimes, 5 cases which are very, very interesting, I think, and I will show you them, and then we can discuss. I will ask you some questions about these cases. So we have here the case number 1 about Mary Bell, 11-year-old serial killer. In Britain, in 1968, 11-year-old Mary Bell strangled 2 young boys in the span of 2 months. Bell came from a broken home with a teenage sex worker for a mother and an active criminal for a father. When she and her accomplice, Norma Bell, were arrested by police not long after the second murder, Mary reportedly replied, "That's all right by me." During the trial, Norma appeared distraught. Mary, on the other hand, was said to have been defiant, showing zero remorse. Court psychiatrists described her as intelligent, manipulative, and dangerous. Norma was found not guilty, while Mary was found guilty of manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. She served 12 years, briefly escaping prison at one point, and was granted anonymity and a new name upon her release. She gave birth to a daughter, and it was reported in 2009 that she had become a grandmother. So, as you understand, there were 2 girls in this case, Mary, and another girl's name was Norma. Norma was not guilty, but Mary was guilty. Do you think the verdict or decision of the court was correct for this case? Let's see again the case. So in Britain in 1968, 11-year-old Mary Bell strangled 2 young boys in the span of 2 months. Bell came from a broken home with a teenage sex worker for a mother and an active criminal for a father. When she and her accomplice, Norma Bell, they had no relations, were arrested by police not long after the second murder, Mary reportedly replied, "That's all right by me." During the trial, Norma appeared distraught. Mary, on the other hand, was said to have been defiant, showing zero remorse. Court psychiatrists described her as intelligent, manipulative, and dangerous. Norma was found not guilty, while Mary was found guilty of manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. She served 12 years, briefly escaping prison at one point, and she was granting anonymity and a new name upon her release. She gave birth to a daughter, and it was reported in 2009 that she had become a grandmother. Selenay says there is no responsibility of children who are under 12 in Turkey. Okay, interesting comment. So in Turkey, the same situation could not happen because you have different law. Merve, I'm asking about your comments. Do you think this was okay, what happened, giving 12 years to Mary and not finding Norma guilty in this case? Of course, it depends on the country, and different countries can have different laws. But I'm not asking about laws now, I'm asking about your opinion. Of course, we don't know the laws, maybe. In your opinion, is it correct or not correct what has been done? Is it fair or not fair? Sudanas thinks it's not true. Okay, let's see another case. The murder of Angela Samota. Texas college student Angela Samota was raped and stabbed to her death. Stab is when somebody uses a knife and stabbed to death in her apartment in 1984. Her case went cold until her friend and roommate Sheila Wysotsky decided that was unacceptable. While watching the O.J. Simpson trial a decade after Samota's death, talk of using DNA samples caught her attention. Knowing there was blood and semen collected from Samota's crime scene, Wysotsky called the police incessantly, asking them to take another look at her friend's case. She got nowhere and decided to get her private investigator license so she could gain access to samples herself. In 2006, Wysotsky finally convinced the police to reopen the case. It took 2 years to process the DNA, but in the end it matched with Donald Bess, a convicted rapist who was found guilty and sentenced to death. Wysotsky is still working as a private investigator. I think this girl, Wysotsky, is just an amazing person. She tried to get the right situation and to make the situation right, and even after 10 years of the accident, she decided to become investigator herself so she could investigate the case of her flatmate. Big kudos to the girl, Sheila. She did not give up and she became investigator herself to investigate the story 10 years later. Amazing, I guess. Hi, Eylem. The next case, we have situation number 3, the old lady killer. Between 1998 and 2006, professional wrestler Juana Baranza murdered around 48 elderly women in Mexico. She flew under the radar for so long because no one suspected a woman to be the culprit. She pled guilty to one murder and denied the rest. When asked what her motive was, she simply replied, "I got angry." She got angry and she killed 48 women. Wow. Barraza grew up in a poverty-stricken village near Mexico City. Her defense lawyer claimed that her alcoholic mother gave her away to a man in exchange for 3 beers when Bazara was 12. The criminologist assigned to the case asserted that Bazara targeted older women because she identified them with her mother. This is very interesting case of serial killer, and we understand that the lady probably had some psychological problems, and it is understandable why she had psychological problems. We see here the sentence: she was given away to men when she was only 12, and it was done by her mother. And Nevin, you are correct, she kind of wanted to revenge on her mother, that's why she killed older lady. But it's so interesting that the police could not find her for 8 years, from 1998 to 2006. And in this 8 years period, she killed already 48 ladies. Yeah, very interesting case of serial killing we have got right here. Guys, do you know any interesting serial killing cases in Turkey? Have you ever heard, or maybe you have read somewhere about serial killers and which happened in your country, in Turkey? Or also, I'm asking my Georgian friends who are watching me on Facebook, guys, can you tell me any serial killing cases that took place in Georgia? Sudanas, of course this is not right and this is not correct. Of course she was taken to prison after she was found and the story was investigated. As for Emir, I don't know Emir, I found this on the website and it was not official website, it's just so commercial website. I think it can be true because I have heard of one serial killer from Mexico, lady serial killer, but I don't remember if this is the same person. So you don't know any cases in Turkey of serial killing, or also in Georgia for my Facebook friends? Okay, the serial killer that I could remember from my country, I heard in the news, I think it was in 90s, and the man killed a lot of women, and he had kind of similar story to this one. He was raised in a very poor family, and then he did not have money, he did not have any job, so he was kind of angry, and I don't remember exactly how many ladies he killed, but finally he was found by the police and he accepted everything and he was pled guilty. Nevin has heard of something, a person killed 43 people and the name of Babyface Killer. The name of the person was Babyface Killer. Like maybe this one, the 11-year-old Mary. The next one, we have the man who almost got away with murdering his family. Got away means doing something bad and not getting punishment for it. Let's read the story. John List killed his 3 kids, wife and mother, in 1971 inside their New Jersey mansion. Mansion is a big house, very big luxurious house, guys. The family was a bit reclusive and List had skipped town following his crime, So the bodies were not discovered until a month later. List disappeared for 18 years and remarried, but was finally captured with the help of an episode of America's Most Wanted. He claimed that he killed his family because they were under crushing debt from the house and medical expenses. A psychiatrist who testified in the trial said List saw only two choices: go on welfare or send his family to heaven. It was later discovered that the very house that burdened List had a skylight that was rumored to be an original from Tiffany, worth more than enough to make up for any financial strains. It's unclear if List knew of his near priceless treasure. He died serving 5 consecutive situations as well, I think. He killed his family for financial reasons because his family was using some medical treatments and the family was using some money for medical purposes, and they had debt. That's why he decided to kill the whole family. Wow, I'm still in shock. I need time to understand all these things. The last situation for today, we have the Florida Lotto murder of Abraham Shakespeare. In 2006, Abraham Shakespeare bought a lotto ticket in Florida and won the $30 million in jackpot. At first, he was very generous with his friends and family, but soon started to feel like he was being used. A woman named Didi Moore offered to help him manage his money. She wound up swindling him into giving his control over all of his assets. After a few weeks of not hearing from Shakespeare, his family grew concerned and attempted to reach him. Moore forged a letter to his family, reassuring them that he was okay. The problem was, Moore did not know that Shakespeare was illiterate. The police were notified and they found Shakespeare's body buried on Moore's property. I think the lady was very smart. Didi Moore, the woman, was very smart. What do you think, guys? Is it interesting case what the woman has done? So she asked this man to trust her, and she would take care and she would take control of all the money, and of course she killed him, but the family could not find for a long time. Amazing, interesting, clever, smart, and bad. All these adjectives I can use together. Yep, we still have some time, and now let's do something else. Let me open a book. So I wanted to teach you a little bit more about the vocabulary and more words that we can use when we are talking about law and crime. Proof and evidence, they both have the same meaning, and I think you understand. Proof and evidence means when you have something which makes you decide what happened. This is your proof. Next one, suspect, arrest, and charge. I'm sure you know the meaning of suspect and arrest. Charge is when the judge decides what is the crime and gives some punishment. This is charge. Suspect, you understand, accuse has exactly same meaning. For example, somebody robbed my house. I don't know who it was. Then I think, okay, this could have been maybe John. So I suspect John. Okay. Mehmet is asking about proof. Proof is a noun form and prove is the verb. They have same meaning. Decision, you understand, to decide something. And when we talk about decision in the court, we use verdict. So we don't say the court decided, but we say the court's verdict. Court's decision was something. Commit we use when we talk about all kinds of crimes. We don't say do the crime, we don't say make a crime, but we say committed a crime. Okay. Break we use for laws. Break the law, break the rule. So when you don't follow any law or rule, we use the word break. Now the difference between rule and law is that law is a written governmental document, while rule, it can be only one place, one organization, company's rules, school rules, for example. Also, we can say rule about house and family. We have some family rules. Justice and right, they have kind of same meaning. In this case, when something is done correctly in a right way, so we say that there is justice, okay? Judge and jury, you understand the meaning, I think, are the people who decide someone's guiltiness or innocence during the court period. Prosecute is a verb and noun as well, and this word has different meaning in different countries. I don't know if you have the same thing in Turkey, but prosecute is when someone makes the verdict come true. So there is a verdict, for example, that house should be taken from this person, and prosecutor is the person who takes this house, okay? And next one, we have capital punishment and corporal punishment. So these kind of punishments are not to one individual person, but they are to a company or group of people. Robber, burglar, and thief, we talked a lot about them. Vandal and hooligan, also we explained. Sentence. We use sentence in a case like this. If court is finished and the judge says send the person 5 years to prison, we will say 5 years imprisoning, or we can say the person was sentenced 5 years into prison. Nevin has a question about sue. Sue is when you go to court and you start a case against someone. This is the meaning of sue. Innocent is the person who is not guilty, and guilty is the person who committed some kind of crime. Witness is a person who saw the crime, who knew about the crime, and bystander also, it's more American word used to describe the same thing. As for lawyer, you probably understand, is the person who specializes in law, and also solicitor, kind of same meaning. And it is not very popular, the word solicitor, but it is used in British English and American English, both. A person who is qualified to deal with convincing some legal matters. This is solicitor. Sue is not same with prosecute. Sue is the first time you go to court because you want to start a case. You want to sue someone. Prosecute is after the court is finished, what is the final decision, and we start making this final decision come true. This is prosecute. Now let's try to use these words into the sentences. So in each sentence here there is a mistake. You need to change the highlighted word and tell me which word we need to use instead of these highlighted words. For example, first sentence says all 12 members of the witness were convicted of Davidson's guilt. So here witness is incorrect, and which word do we need to use instead of witness? Guys, which word do we need to use instead of witness in number 1? I'm waiting for your answers as comments on YouTube or Facebook. So far I see 2 answers. One of them is jury and another one is bystander. Let's see if we get any more answers on this. Okay, so most of you think the correct answer for number 1 is jury, and you are actually correct. We need to use the word jury for number 1. Let me write it for you. And question number 2, I don't think that I would ever break a serious crime. What is the verb that we need to use with a crime? Not break a crime, but yes, Nevin, you are correct. Number 2 is commit a crime. Selenay and Erin also have correct answers. Sentence number 3. If the school laws are not written down anywhere, how are we supposed to know what they are? So for schools, we don't use laws because it's not governmental. It is not same for all people. But what do we say? School. Yes, Gonja, you are correct. Rules. And also on YouTube, Nevin, Selenay, and Eren, correct. Number 4. A psychiatrist was called as an expert judge during the trial. Not a judge, but as an expert. What do we need to use? We have first correct answer on Facebook. Expert witness. You are correct, Gonca. Question number 5. If a parent smacks a child, that's an example of commit punishment? No. What kind of punishment is it? So if the parent, mother or father, smacks the child, it is, Selena is correct, corporal punishment. Sentence number 6. Everyone should have the jury for a fair trial. Not jury, but everyone should have the what? What should everyone have? We have correct answer from Gonca. Yeah, everyone should have the right. So everyone should have right. Nevin, you are also correct. Question number 7. If you sentenced the law, you deserve to be punished. Not sentence. I think this is easy. When you don't follow the law, which verb do we use? For question number 7. The video is coming and streaming a little bit slower on YouTube, and I always get correct answers first on Facebook. Good job, Gonca. You have all correct answers so far. Yes, the answer here, guys, is break. Question number 8. Governments must be allowed to introduce change and scrap. Okay, this can be a little bit difficult. Maybe you don't understand with the meaning of the sentence. Governments must be allowed to introduce new changes and what? What do governments make? Hande, you are correct. This one is laws. Yep. Sentence number 9. Can you imagine what's like being something for years in a cell? Cell we call a place in the prison. We don't say the room, but we say a cell. So can you imagine what it's like being, you need to use verb 3 form here, for years in a cell? Hande is correct. Here we need the word imprisoned. Gonca is also correct. For sentence 10, it's very important that blah 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 is seen to be done. Nevin, sentence can also be correct, but we need to use sentence for another sentence. Sentence number 10, guys. It's very important that something is seen to be done. So people need to see something. Kind of difficult to understand from the sentence. People need to see the justice, okay? Question 11. Another phrase for right punishment is death sentence. Not right punishment, but what kind of punishment is death sentence? I think I explained the meaning of this word incorrectly to you because I'm not the specialist in law. Capital punishment, it is punishment for killing someone. So as a punishment, the country or the government or police kills a person. So same with death sentence, okay? So for sentence 11, we need to say capital punishment. Sentence number 12, the spy was blah 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 to life imprisonment. Sent to prison, we can say. What's another word for sent to prison? Nevin, you are correct. Here we need sentenced. Question number 13. A number of rules watched the robbers speed off in a gateway car. Not rules, but what do we need? A number of blah 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 watched the robbers speed off in a gateway car. Imagine there is a robbery and people watch the robbery. What do we call these people? Yep, Nevin, you have correct answer. Number of bystanders, correct, watched. And last question, silence in court, shouted the corporal angrily. Not corporal, but who says silent in court and uses something like this. Selena is correct for number 14. The correct answer is the jury. Not jury, guys. I wrote incorrectly. The judge. Yes, you are correct. Thank you very much for today's video. I think it was very educational and wish you a good day. Please stay with us. At 2 o'clock there will be lesson for intermediate level with Joseph. And I wish you all good day. Bye bye.